Although the forecast looked rather bleak, the skies parted just in time on Saturday afternoon to allow for bar-to-bar racing at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Huge crowds were treated to several close battles, a somewhat surprising winner in the East-West showdown, and yet another Chase Sexton mistake from the lead in the 450 class. But it's clear after this week that the fastest guys don't always win the race. Why this is the case is coming up right around the corner. On pace this weekend, Honda HRC riders Jett Lawrence and Chase Sexton were arguably the fastest riders on the track. For Jett, he got a decent start but had yet another fall in the opening lap that caused him to fall behind. After getting trapped under the bike for a brief period of time, the Australian rider freed himself but lost significant time to the entire field. In typical East Coast races, Jett has shown the ability to ride back through the field and grab a podium, but with factory riders from both coasts at this race, this seemed unlikely. But what we saw after the crash was insane. Lawrence put on a clinic, highlighted by his move on Austin Fortner in the whoops, where he started from several bike lengths behind Fortner, but ended up past him before the next turn. Before the end of the race, Jett had passed Joe Shimoda for third, finishing 8 seconds behind his brother who grabbed the win. Chase Sexton had similar issues in the 450s. The Honda HRC rider stole the lead from Justin Barcia early in the race and attempted to gap the field when he lost his front wheel in the slippery Georgia dirt in the bull turn near NASCAR Turn 4. By the time he had remounted his ride, Sexton had dropped several seconds to the field, but just when we were counting him out, Sexton got up, charged through the field, and overtook Cooper Webb at the end of the race to grab the last podium spot. But for both Honda riders, they looked to be the fastest on pace but didn't get the job done. For both Jett and Chase, little mistakes have seen them drop easy race wins this season. For Jett, first lap crashes at 2 main events in Arlington, the heat race in Detroit, the final event in St. Louis, and this weekend in Atlanta have forced him to come from the back. These little crashes continue to define Jett because he can't stretch out the big lead that we all know he's capable of. For Chase, crashes from the lead this weekend and his huge get-off in Minneapolis have resulted in 2 race wins disappearing. But we still haven't talked about the race winners yet. Hunter Lawrence and Jason Anderson rode a near-perfect race, holding off Christian Craig and Eli Tomac respectively. But weekends like this serve as a reminder to why we love racing. You can have a situation where the fastest rider on pure pace ends up losing the race. You truly never know what's going to happen. But let's get into what we learned from Atlanta this weekend because there are a few takeaways moving forward that I want to address. Number 1. Supercross actually listened to their riders about the track. If you saw any footage from press day, you'll note the 120-foot triple that caused several riders to have crashes during practice on press day. The 120-foot triple was a stupid idea that nearly injured several riders, including the eventual race winner Hunter Lawrence in the 250s. But with several complaints, Dirtworks actually made modifications to the track to allow for more rider safety. They turned it from a huge triple into a much more manageable double. These changes are actually very cool to see because it shows that Supercross was interested in rider safety rather than ignoring the complaints and watching riders get hurt. Number 2, the Lawrence brothers will race in the 450s together. Now this is a little bit of a hot take, but I think we'll see Hunter and Jett Lawrence together on the 450s for Honda HRC. But I also would find it hard to believe that the team would dump Chase Sexton. Could we see a third bike? I think it's a possibility because Honda could really market these 2 brothers in the 450 class, and it could be a staple for years to come. I think Hunter definitely has the pace as he's predominantly been known for an outdoor rider, but with 3 wins in Supercross this year, including this East-West showdown, he's trending in the right direction to apply for that 450 ride and have a legitimate chance at getting it. Number 3, Austin Fortner will not be in the 250 class next year. With Fortner's return, this signified to me that he is done trying to win his elusive 250 championship. While his official points tally is not made known, it is known that his deal with Kawasaki does include a 450 ride at some point. While I doubt Kawasaki would dump Cian Cerullo in the top team in the 450s, I think that we'll see Fortner on a 450 ride at some capacity next season, even if it's not with the top team. But coming back and risking pointing out tells me that he's probably done with the 250s. Number 4, can we please get more outdoor tracks? Not only was the racing amazing this weekend, but the crowd was huge, and they were extremely involved in the race. Supercross can do one of 2 things in my mind. They could put 2 to 3 more races in outdoor venues similar to what we see in Daytona, or they could change something so that the bikes can't out-jump the stadiums. It can get repetitive when every track is a triple quad rhythm section because the top guys are all doing the same thing, and guys with slower bikes simply can't make some of those jumps, so they're automatically not going to be competitive. We also saw a lot cleaner racing this weekend, and once the huge triple was knocked down, there really weren't as many bad get-offs. And number 5, consider a full 250 field instead of regional coasts. This may be the biggest hot take of them all, but I really enjoyed seeing the best 250 guys battle it out. The pros of this format are that we have more competitive bikes in a race weekend, because on the coast, especially when some guys get hurt, the field can get really thin. Seeing Jett Lawrence drive past guys on way slower bikes is only interesting for so long, but seeing him fly by guys on equal equipment, that was awesome to see, and it showed me just how much better Jett Lawrence was than those other riders were he to clean up those mistakes. Another advantage to this is that if it's a developmental class, guys in the 250s will get more race experience that will help them succeed in the 450s. Now, there are some obvious drawbacks, mainly cost and the potential for more injuries. These are certainly valid concerns and will need to be evaluated if a move is to be made by the governing body to combine the 250 classes. But now I want to pass it off to you guys. What do you think of the outdoor racing that we saw this weekend? Let me know down in the comments if you agree or disagree with anything I said. I'd love to hear your guys' feedback. Anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning in for this latest episode on GDN Productions. We'll be back this week with some more Supercross content. In the meantime, if you're new around here, please like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out. We're trying to get this thing as big as possible. Thank y'all so much, and we will see y'all in the next video.